Hey everybody, welcome to another fucking week of your favorite podcast, Block Talk. And thank you guys for everybody that subscribed. I saw our subscribers went up. Thank you for listening. Because if not, I was going to send a small horde of goblins to your front door. If y'all don't know what that's in reference to, go ahead and listen to last week because it's great. And joining me as always, my great and fabulous co-host, who needs no introduction, but shall introduce himself anyway. Ask me about my wiener. I don't know why that thought. You remember that movie, Accepted? That just scene popped in my head.
Oh my god, that was.
Ask me about my wiener.
What was it? It was shit. Southampton Institute of Technology. Yeah. Fuck, that's.
Yeah. He's like, you realize I spell shit, right?
So I actually have a 501c, a charitable organization that the initials are TWAT, but it's TWAAT, Temple of Wayward Adults and Children and Teens. And anyways, because I was trying to make my own church just to be able to have like tax exemptions, because I watched what was it, John Oliver last week tonight, and they made a church pretty fucking easy. Anyways, I'm Gallo, the chivalrous chauvinist, and we're going to talk to you today, or I'm going to talk to you mostly, about how to have a conversation with anyone and maintain that conversation going. And it's something that I've been doing naturally for like a couple of decades, but I didn't realize it until watching a YouTube video recently on what it's called. And it's essentially just called the Ford method, which is whenever you want to talk to someone, you're going to want to talk to them about their family, about their occupation, their recreation, and dreams. And so almost everyone will talk about one of those four things readily or easily. And even if it doesn't, you don't have to make it about their family immediately. Like, oh, hey, do you have any family? Oh, do you have any siblings? But just kind of have a conversation that just flows and be something like, you know what? You kind of look like, and this is like more of like in the flirting stage of getting to know a woman. And you can say, you know what? You look like you have a large family. You probably have like a bunch of brothers and sisters, huh? And whether that's true or not, whether it's right or not, saying that you have, you know, a large family makes her think, hey, how does he know that about me? Or, oh, no, he's wrong. He doesn't know anything about me. And that lowers her guard and makes her more open to having a conversation about you, because you're not coming in, bam, hey, I want to fuck you and I like your tits, so let me get in your pussy. Like, that's the kind of energy, that's the kind of things women see or feel the way guys approach them. Like, hey, hi, my name is Guy. I want to buy you a drink. Can I buy you a drink? That comes off as creepy. That comes off as overbearing. But if you open up with that just simple, hey, you know what? I bet you look like an only child. Do you have any, do you have siblings? And that opens up the conversation for them to start talking about their family. And they can expand on that. You could talk about their family vacations, things they did as a children, and build up from there. If they're closed off, if they're whatever's going on, that they've had a recent trauma in their family, then they'll stop about it. They won't talk about it.
Yeah, and if you're wrong, just treat it like how girls treat zodiacs. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like if a girl ever guesses your zodiac wrong, she's just like, that was my next guess. You just treat it like that. If you're wrong, and she's like, no, I'm an only child. Next guess. Next guess. It was either a big family or an only child. It was one or the other. Couldn't have been both. Anyway, you were saying your family. Like, you know, you just got to hit with that shit.
And that's exactly it, is that you're trying to have a conversation with them. You're not trying to know, you're not going to know everything about them in the first few minutes of talking to them. And so that's the whole point of it is, I say lowering their guard because that's the best way to phrase it, but it sounds bad if you think about it. It's more of just being able to stand out as an individual amongst a sea of men just trying to talk to her, because almost every guy is going to come in there and be like, you want some dick? I got some dick for you if you want it. You want some of this dick? Because I got some good dick. I mean, I think it's good. I don't know if it is good, but I mean, I haven't had any complaints, so it's pretty good dick probably. Um, or maybe not, because these girls haven't called me back. So I don't know, but I got some dick for you if you want it. And that's what women usually hear the way guys talk and approach them, because guys don't stand out. Guys don't do anything to set themselves apart. And so this can help you be able to have a conversation with them, and you stand up on a head and shoulders above other guys because you're talking to them as a person instead of those treating them as a piece of ass that you're trying to get into. The next one's just occupation. And most people either love their job or hate their job, or just kind of like, it's a job for now. Like there's, usually the extremes and then kind of in the middle. But there's something funny about their job that they might want to talk about. Oh yeah, there's fucking Karen in HR, this bitch, man, I fucking hate her. So you can open up the conversation that way. Occupation isn't always the best thing to do unless it's something just kind of obscure and niche that you've never heard about. Like, she is an anthropologist tool handler. The fuck? I didn't know that was a thing. It may or may not be a thing, but you can ask them about it and find out how they got into it. They might have actually went to college for it and slid into it, or they might have just kind of like answered a Craigslist ad. But that's a whole conversation you can have about their career, about their occupation, and not have that focus on, I got some dick for you, just in case you didn't know, or in case you forgot, I got this cock right here. So don't forget that. And see, that's how most guys are going to have that conversation, because they're always going to try to bring it back to them and talk about themselves. Getting a woman to talk about herself is the best thing to do for essentially getting it in, because her realizing eventually later that she doesn't know anything about you makes you mysterious and makes you desirable.
Guy, I'm going to be a live action audience member real quick. All right. Just to kind of point out two things real quick. Because I was thinking about it, right? And like, it makes sense what you're saying and stuff like that. But let's just say I'm playing devil's advocate here, or maybe like a live audience member. You have a question like this. But Gaio, what if I'm shy? Or what if she's shy and she's not really opening up to talk to me? How would you solve that?
Oh, with that, if she's not opening up, then you can, it's a dangerous game to poke fun at her about her shyness. But if you do it in a way that you're not attacking her, more of in a way that you're just like, oh, you're quiet. Okay, that's okay. You're shy. I bet you're wild in bed though. And you can flip it to something sexual without saying, I want to fuck you. You can just make a sexual joke so she's aware that you want to have sex with her without saying, I want to have sex with you. And flipping it is always a gamble, because you risk scaring her off with sex talk if she's being shy or she's being quiet about it. But then at the same time, you also have to learn to read body language, because maybe she's shy because I'm 6 feet tall, broad shoulders. I'm imposing over her. She's 5'1.25". And so she thinks I'm going to try to step on her or slap her or whatever. That she might have a fear because of my size. So you have to read the body language as to whether she's shy and afraid of you or just shy in general. And you're looking at how her toes or feet are pointed. If they're pointed towards you, if you want to have, or if she's willing to have a conversation with you by having her feet pointed towards you and facing her body towards you. But if she's turning away, looking around, looking over your shoulder, those are kind of signals of her trying to let you know that she's trying to find a way out and doesn't know how to handle it. And she wants to be polite about it because she's also afraid of how you would react to it. Because that's another thing women have to deal with, is if they tell you no and, oh no, I have a boyfriend, that's okay, I'm not interested, then a lot of guys take that as, oh, I need to try harder, or well, your boyfriend ain't here, maybe I can do something about it, and he doesn't have to know. And guys being stupid and being assholes that way, till eventually she has to say, no, I have a boyfriend, leave me alone. And that angry tone could anger the guy and cause a confrontation outside of the club. That's something women always have a fear of. Either they don't say no forceful enough, or they say it too forceful and cause some kind of problem later.
Yeah, I don't know. Just real quick, funniest one I ever heard was, "Damn, your man don't let you have no friends." Like that's the crazy shit I ever heard. So like, literally, I heard that shit in live action outside of a club. This dude was like, "Dang, your man don't let you have no friends." I'm like, not if she my girl, she don't. Hell no, she can't have no fucking friends because of reasons like that. But anyway, it's not hard for me to chime in, but it kind of is. But because I've always been like a naturally charismatic person, so like how you said, I never knew about this Ford method. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no Toyota, it's a Ford method. But I never knew about this because like just naturally I've always been good at like conversing with people and stuff like that. And like, like for me, if I meet a woman that's shy and stuff like that, and she's kind of like not being like open or whatever, I kind of will take over the conversation and just sort of make her laugh. And I notice the more she laughs, then I start noticing when she's getting comfortable and she starts kind of like touching on me a little bit more. Like she'll get to laughing and then like touch my knee, or like she'll put her hand on my arm or something like that. And then, I just, like you said, I'll make a joke and I'll be like, "Dang, you don't really talk a lot, huh?" Like it's okay, I get it. I have so many interesting things to say. You're just hanging on every word. Just say like something dumb like that, and then she'll laugh, or like I said, sometimes it backfires. It backfires maybe like 0.5% of the time, but my data might also be skewed because there's also other factors I'm putting into play. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, like uh, if you're a shy guy, also the best way to get over that, honestly, is just to have more conversations, son. Like, again, just having conversations, even with, I'm gonna be honest, for me, right? To me, it's actually harder to have a conversation with a dude than with a chick. So if I was you and like you're kind of shy, I would say just practice with like dudes. Now, obviously, do not practice hitting on men because you know what I'm saying. I mean, if that's your thing, do your thing. We've been through it. We don't care what your nary is at the end of it. You know what I'm saying? Canary, binary, pseudosary, whatever. You know what I mean? You love who you love. But what I'm saying is like to me, right? Because if you disrespect a man or say some crazy shit to a man, there's physical consequences. With women, it's just she's gonna tell you to fuck off. So I think that the stakes aren't as high when talking to a woman, and that's how I think you should approach it. Is just practice talking to dudes and like making friends, basically, or being friendly with guys. And then I noticed that really helped me a lot when I first got out of prison, like talking to women, because I was just so nervous about being surrounded by people in general that I noticed once I started being comfortable just being friendly with guys, women was like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I'm not scared of no chick because the worst thing she's going to tell me is like, "No, I'm good. I got a man. I'm fine. No, I don't want to." You know what I'm saying? And I'm fine with that. But to me, like I said, it was more nerve wracking to talk to a dude. So also, again, gonna play an audience member here, but Kyle, what I don't want to sound like I'm repetitive or like I'm reading off a script. How can I make these things sound organic?
That's going to just take practice. I mean, you're going to stumble with it no matter what. And personally, I would say like going back real quick to getting comfortable with having conversations with strangers, because essentially that's what this is. You're having conversations with strangers, whether you practice with other males, whether you practice with females or family members or random friends that you already have. I think for me personally, my idea is the best metric is to just jump in the deep end and talk to groups of women. And whenever you go to a bar or club, there's almost always groups of women. Rarely do you see a woman out by herself nowadays. So you're going to have to talk to groups of women eventually. So jump in the deep end and talk to them. But don't talk to them in that mind frame that if I do the Ford method, I'm going to get late tonight. Do it more as I'm going to practice this Ford method to get comfortable talking to women, and just leave it that at that. Don't have that expectation of sex or expectation of getting a phone number or anything. Just do it so you get comfortable talking to them. Because one thing that works like more than 9 out of 10, like not more than 9 out of 10, this next line kind of works in easing tensions and eventually hooking up with the girl. And usually in the group, there's sometimes a shy girl, not always, but there's sometimes a shy girl in the group. Just she's naturally shy. And so what I'll do is I'll have a conversation, and I'll 4 women, right? One, two, three, four. And I'm talking to Susie. Hey, Susie, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me, Maria, the shy one. Could you do me a favor and shut the fuck up? I'm trying to have a conversation here with your friend Susie. Now, what I'm getting at is Maria hasn't said a word. She's over here all quiet, and I'm trying to draw her in to the conversation because I'm pointing out that she's not talking. Now, it might make her more embarrassed. It usually makes her red in the face, but her friends laugh and poke fun at her. It's like, yeah, Maria, why don't you talk to our new friend Gaio? Tell him about blah, blah, blah. Tell him about her job. Tell him about your occupation. Tell him about your family. Tell him about whatever. Because one of the girls will offer information and give me a hint to go ahead and ask Maria about, who originally was my plan to try to hook up with her, talk to, but she wasn't talking to me. So I had to engage her friends, make her feel comfortable in talking to me or just being around me. So then now her friends are offering me up to her, and it circles back to what I want to do. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes she gets super embarrassed. She'll get mad and upset, or one of her friends will get mad and upset that I'm making fun of Maria, the shy one, because she's kind of like the protector of the group. She's always looking out for them. Sometimes there's one of those. Sometimes there's a girl that's just got to be a cock block because she's not going to get laid because she's the ugly one. Whatever. There's all kinds of situations that are going to happen. So you can't always plan for everything. Even if I tell you now, yeah, if you do X, Y, and Z, you'll be perfect. It's not. It takes practice. It takes years of practice to be comfortable talking in public, talking with people, talking with women. But the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Yeah, it's all about repetition, man. And like when it comes to quote unquote, make it sound like you're reading from a script. I'm not gonna lie, man. Sometimes that fucking works for some people. I know this one guy, like I said, he had the same opener for everybody until he got it down to where it was like it came out natural. Because at first he sounded awkward when he was saying it, and it sounded like he was using an opener. You know what I mean? It sounds like something he read or that was scripted. But then repetition will get you to feeling comfortable and whatnot, and that's what you want to do. Like I said, you can have certain phrases and stuff like that you repeat over and over until you just feel comfortable saying it. You know what I mean? Don't make it feel like, because the only person that knows that you're repeating it is yourself. You know what I'm saying? And every conversation can start differently. Now, I'm not telling you to sound you got fucking Tourette's and keep honestly repeating yourself in the same question where you're like, so what do you do for work? And then she answers your question and you're like, so that's work, huh? Like, yeah, so what else do you do with your job? Like, don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get stuck in a goddamn time loop. You're not Tom Cruise. This is not a time loop type thing. You want to keep on pushing it, baby. Keep on pushing it. And like I said, most of the times when you get a lot of practice in and stuff like that, and then it does start to come out organic, that shit is like the best, yo. Because it's like you're making her feel comfortable in maybe an uncomfortable situation. Because, sometimes, especially with some women, because I know that like some shy women, they're used to their friends getting most of the attention. So like if you do it like how what Gaio says, and you go and like let's say there's a group of 4 women, right? And me and Gaio approach this group, and we get to talking to all 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? All 4 of them are gonna feel included. Where usually the shy one, she's used to her 3 friends getting the attention, and she's not used to getting no attention. You know what I'm saying? And the girls, the other 3 that are, let's just say that they're getting more attention because they're hotter. Speculative, but they also are like they feel more comfortable around you because they're like, oh man, he's also making sure like our friend is engaged. You know what I'm saying? Like they're making sure that we're all engaged in the conversation, so I feel more comfortable. Going back to I don't know how many fucking episodes we have to bring this shit up on, but she wants to throw you the panties. She wants to fuck you. The only person stopping her from fucking you is yourself. But if you have the mindset of, again, like what Gaio said, oh, if I use this trick, she's obviously gonna fuck me. Like that's not what I'm saying. When you first go out there, man, just practice. And I'm gonna be honest, most of the times, at least for myself, speaking from personal experience, most times that I've gotten with women was nights that I'm trying not to get women. Like I'm just chilling and I'm with my boys. That's the nights that I get. Like when I go out for a guys' night, like it's not like a guys' night. Hey, let's go get some pussy. It's like, hey, my boy got a raise. Like we're finna celebrate my boy getting a raise type shit. And I remember that happened one time. TJ got his brand new job, right? And this is the thing. Also, sometimes women will start conversations with you. TJ had got a brand new job, started making more money. Me and him went out, and we went out, and I remember, I don't like having drunk eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like looking like I'm all like, and my eyes being red and shit like that. So sometimes I'll take like sunglasses inside of like nightclubs and shit like that. So I had these glasses on, these like Tom Ford glasses, and I'm wearing them. And then this chick was like, "Hey, I really like your glasses." I said, I said, thank you, I appreciate it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That means a lot. And then she tried to like start up a conversation with me, and I wasn't rude, but I was kind of letting her know like, hey man, well we're kind of celebrating my boy getting a raise, la da da da. Like, would you and your homegirls want to come hang out? And then she's like, no, I was kind of hoping I'd get you by yourself, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'm not on that type shit. But anyway, that's my whole point is I went out to go celebrate TJ getting a new job. I didn't really give a fuck about women. And then that's when it seems like again they're just trying to throw their panties at you, man. A lot of women, they're going out with the intentions of they also want to see handsome fellas or nice guys or whatever the fuck. But excuse me, not nice guys, gentlemen. Make sure you go listen to that episode. Difference between nice guy and gentleman. They want to meet a gentleman and strike up a conversation with you. And sometimes some women, again, don't bank on this shit because it doesn't happen often. But I'm pretty sure Guile can attest to this. Some women sometimes they find it cute when you're just like a little nervous. You know what I mean? Where they see that you're just a little shy, and you can kind of play into that a little bit.
Oh yeah, the one of the big things of if you're shy, if you're nervous, embrace it, acknowledge it, and let them know, because that's another thing or another sign for women that lets them know that you're not a player. You're not there to try to get laid, or it doesn't seem to them that your only purpose is to try to get laid. You're trying to get to know someone. And kind of falling back to the whole occupation thing when you run out of things to talk about. Because sometimes you ask, hey, what do you do? And, oh, I work at McDonald's. There's not much you can go from there, right? But you do know, or I would hope that you could know or rationalize or have the intelligence to know that that's not everyone's dream job. That's a job to get started at. That's a job to just kind of like, until I find something better. So what's the next thing you can do? Recreation, the R. Well, unless you really love McDonald's, what do you love to do on your free time? What do you love to do for yourself? What do you love to do for fun? And asking that question opens them up because, yeah, fucking McDonald's sucks. Oh, what do I love to do for fun? Oh, I love to go kayaking or stand up paddleboarding or playing D&D, whatever. But that's a conversation that's going to excite them and get them motivated. And what you want to do in not lowering their guard, but making them comfortable with you is also getting them to have emotions. And those emotions are going to get tied to you. Those emotions are going to have like a pair bonding thing that works for them or works for you and your benefit, that if they feel excited or feel, oh shit, I love playing in the terminal on a computer, female thinking or female speaking, then her being excited about that and you're in front of her, now she's making that association of the thing she loves to do with you, and talking about it keeps reaffirming those feelings and emotions she has for you. So now she's liking you more, even though you haven't really shared much about yourself, because she's sharing herself. She's excited about herself. She's excited about what she's talking about, and you're in front of her and you're not giving her creepy vibes. You're not telling her, oh, that's cool that you like this. I want to give you my dick. Don't do that.
Yeah, there's a theme in this episode, guys. Don't lead with your cock. You know what I'm saying? There are two things you don't lead with: your cock and your wallet. And not necessarily in that order, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying you can't turn the conversation sexual. I'm not telling you to be a fucking monk. Like, you don't got to be a friar here. You don't got to be, celibate. Just, you got to ease into it, man. You can't just be like right off the fucking rip. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine it this way: what we're teaching here right now is like a beginner's course, and you trying to go to the pro level. Like, you ain't ready for the pro am. You know what I'm saying? You ain't ready for big buck hunting. You know what I mean? Get you a couple ducks. You know what I'm saying? Start with some small fish. Get you a grouper. You know what I mean? Maybe a little croaker or something like that. Then you move on out here to the deep waters with the big bites. And then you could get you some, you know what I'm saying? Then you could take the big old photos and whatnot. But for now, just get your little grouper and just throw it back. That's all you got. That's all you got to do. Get your little grouper.
A way to ease into it is always pay attention to what she says and just kind of go in, lead in with those "that's what she said" jokes. Don't do it too much, because then you start sounding like Michael Scott on The Office. But if you pepper them in every now and again when she says something, oh yeah, I like them when they're big. Yeah, that's what she says. Or I bet you do. And make her blush, make her laugh, make her know that you realize that whatever she said, whether she meant it sexually or not, you're thinking sexually. And you're not saying, I want to give you my dick. You're kind of like passing her a note. I got a dick for you. Just so you know, I got some dick for you. And that's a lot better than, like we said, don't lead with your cock. So eventually you're going to run out of things to talk about as far as recreation, because there is a lot to talk about, things that you like to do as far as your hobbies, whether it's woodworking, whatever, tools that you need. But eventually it's going to get monotonous just explaining little things about it. But you're going to see that she's excited about it. So then you can extrapolate from there and go, okay, well, what are your dreams? Do you dream of having a career with your hobby, with woodworking or programming? Or do you dream of traveling? Like, what are your dreams? What are some big dreams that you have? But don't just jump in with a bunch of questions. Just pick one that you want to follow up on, because with the practice, you'll be able to figure out what's the best question or the best next question to ask to follow up. Because you always want to follow up with things that kind of are cohesive and are a stream of thought, and or ask her to explain, well, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by um, X, Y, or Z? Tell me about a time that the first time that you felt that. Tell me about that first time that you remembered that. She started working with her grandfather, and now she does it because it reminds her of him. Great. So it's always trying to figure out how to have that conversation, but it's a flow. And so the reason that it was difficult for me to kind of piece this all together is I'm used to kind of just following from one train of thought to another, being able to flow and make it seem like natural, like I'm very interested in this person. I probably don't remember the last thing she said 5 minutes ago, but I do have like key points. Oh yeah, she works at McDonald's. She doesn't love it, but she likes to do woodworking. She likes to do this. She's closely attached to her father's father, her grandfather, because he passed away when she was young. So she keeps doing this thing that she enjoys doing. And so now you have these things that you can follow up with if you get her phone number, because all of these things are very likely, not guaranteed, I'm making that promise, but they're very likely to get you her contact information to meet up for coffee some other time, or go out actually on a real date, or to go out dancing, or to go out drinking next time, but whatever. You get her contact information and you can follow up with her. Hey, you know what? I saw this YouTube video about woodworking. Would you mind showing me something that you know how to do sometime? Now you're in a private place together, working with your hands, working something, doing something together, and that could lead to sex. But again, if you don't have the ability to have a conversation with another human being, particularly the sex that you're interested in, and treat them like a person, because that's another thing. They don't want to feel or be seen as a slut. They want to give you the panties, but they don't want you to think of them as a slut. So it's like two sides of the same coin. They want to do it, but they don't want you to see the backside. They don't want you to see the dirty side. So they only want you to see one way.
They kind of treat it like a magic trick sometimes. You know what I mean? You know how like when you do the thing, the wavy thing like this, with the magician does this thing with the hand, and then they go flat, and then all of a sudden the card's there. That's what it is, man. It's a goddamn magic trick. They don't want you to see what's hidden around the corner. They're like, oh my god, what's this? It's my panties. You know what I'm saying? But they can't let you just see the panties right fucking off the rip, because then they know. Like, listen, man, people sometimes get upset when I say shit like this, but it is what it is. You're playing a subtle game, okay? When it comes to dating, this is a game. That's why they call it the dating game. That's why it was a popular fucking TV show. That's what it is. It's the dating game, okay? And the game is men are trying to get pussy without giving up as much resources as they can, while women, and this is a very generic version, by the way, and this is just like right off rip. This is at a surface fucking level, okay? Don't be like, the goal is love. Like, shut up. Anyway, and the, the thing for women is they want to get as many resources with giving up as little as fucking possible. Listen, man, you have a market value, okay? Hate to break it down like this, you have a market value. Guys, your value is the resources that you can provide as a potential partner and a potential provider for a woman. Whereas in women, hate to say it, your hotness has a lot of your stock market, okay? And that fucking sucks to hear sometimes. And again, that's at a surface level. That's not saying that all we want is pussy, or that that's all that's important. But off rip, yes, that's a very important factor. All these guys that try to make up this bullshit, like the thing that I hate to fucking hear is when guys are like, because I remember I was talking to one guy and I told him, I said, bro, you want talk to no girl if she wasn't hot. And he's like, that's not fucking true. I care about her personality. I'm like, yeah, when you saw her double D tits across the dance floor, I bet you're like, I bet those tits have great personalities. Fucking blow me. All right? You didn't give a fuck about it. If you didn't think she was hot or attractive in some way, you know what I'm saying? That's why listen, it doesn't work for all women, but for a lot of women, they like men that peacock. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't buy the fucking pinky ring for me, dog. I don't dress to the nines for myself. I dress to impress, dog, because they see that shit and they're like, ooh, daddy got money. Oh, daddy got money. And then they come a flocking.
Oh, man.
I
This
couldn't
took a
resist
turn.
myself. And then I'm over there in the corner of the club talking about winning. I'm winning, Kyle.
Oh, man. So glad this is a podcast. Otherwise, probably get
Oh,
canceled.
I have a problem.
Can't put this on Facebook.
Who gives a shit? Yeah, man. I'm surprised there's not more clips of us like this fucking asshole. Oh my god, it's such dick.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of people that say that about me already. But it's more of just not caring. Because eventually, the most important thing is to realize that they're not going to remember you tomorrow. If you don't talk to them or if you don't make a good impression, that'll be the end of it for them. They'll just, ooh, fuck off, get away. Right? And that's it. They might talk shit about you for the rest of the weekend or the rest of that night. But after that, the next weekend, another guy's going to talk to them, and that's going to be their focus. That's all they're going to care about. Unless you are able to carry an actual conversation, you're able to engage them and keep their attention so that they want to talk to you through the week and make a plan for a date instead of going out to find somebody to take them on a date the next weekend.
Yeah, man. Especially like if you live in a big city like me, you know what I'm saying? Like I stay in Houston. It's a goddamn metropolitan city. It's huge, son. There's sometimes that like I'll meet a chick, right? And like I get drunk. I meet a chick, forget to get her fucking number, and then I'm like, oh well, never gonna see her ass again. And guess what? I still ain't ran into that bitch. And this, you know what I'm saying? And there was a point in period, man. I remember I was going out every weekend for like 6 months or some shit. I never ran into the same woman that I hit on, except maybe like 2 times in a 6 month period. There was twice that I ran into a girl that like I hit on or whatever, and then eventually like, and then again, it still took a while to run into her ass. It took like a 2-3 month period, and then I ran into her, and then she's there with another guy, or she's there, with her same group of fucking friends. You know what I'm saying, or a different group of friends. So guess what, man? The worst she can say is no. Or like how Gaio said, she makes fun of you for a little bit. Who gives a fuck? You won't see her again unless you live in a small bumblefuck town where like y'all know each other. Which then, you know what I'm saying? Those are the problems. Maybe go to the big city, go party. But that's what I'm saying, man. You can't have fear. There's nothing to fear except fear itself. Because fear sometimes can be crippling. And I understand that shit. Like I said, man, there was a point where like I first got out of prison, man, I would have panic attacks because I'm surrounded by so many people, and it was so awkward for me, and I fucking hated it. And then talking to my dad really kind of helped break me out of that mold because he's like, listen, man, like one, you're not in prison anymore, nobody's gonna stab you, hopefully. Two, you know what I'm saying? Like the worst she can say is no, and he's like, and if she says no, guess what? She's probably a lesbian. And I was like, you're right. And so, you know what I'm saying? So I went with that mentality of nobody's trying to stab me, and she's probably a lesbian because that's the only way she could resist all of this. So that's just what you got to think about, man. Is like, listen, I have a lot of great things to offer somebody, and all I have to do is start a conversation. There's no expectations on this conversation except that we're gonna talk. That's the only expectation you have going into a conversation. Is I expect us to have a conversation. Anything after that, you're fucking gold, man. Like literally, everything after that is a W. That's how you got to view it. She's a lesbian.
Fortunately, I had my epiphany in middle school that the worst thing she could say is no, or ew, fuck no, and talk shit to you about other girls. Like that probably is the worst thing that could happen, that you get talked shit about in middle school because, oh my God, that's the worst thing ever. But I didn't think that far. I just thought, oh, no's the worst thing she can say. And there's still 299 other girls in my class or in my middle school that I could talk to and ask out. Not doing the math that probably half of them have a boyfriend, another half of them are talking to someone. So that only left me with like 50 girls to talk to. But I still talk to all of them because fuck it, all they can say is no. And I get the whole fear and fear itself of being afraid to talk to people, especially women, and having that fear of what the worst possible outcome can be. But don't go with that expectation. Don't go with expectations of getting laid, and don't go with expectations of being made fun of or just to be afraid, because you're going to miss out on a lot. You're going to miss out on your life if you live your life in fear.
Yeah, man. See, the two things I didn't really learn that lesson in school because the problem was, right? So I went to a school that was like nicknamed Chocolate City because it was mostly black kids and then like, Latinas and stuff like that. So the two things I had working for me was one, I'm a Hispanic male in a very uh, black male dominated school. So that was there. And then two, I'm handsome as fuck. So that also worked out in my favor. So it was very easy for me to get women in school. Because also, you're like forced into those situations as far as like school goes. So I think a lot of guys really they kind of fuck up and don't really get a sense of game in school. Because I remember I had a friend, right? His name was Marcos, and uh, he was always good with women because he started working out from the time he was like 12. You know what I'm saying? Because his dad didn't love him or some shit. I don't remember. But anyway, he started working out for some reason, and definitely deeply seated in trauma. And started working out, got fucking jacked. So by the time we're all 15, you know what I'm saying? He's fucking yoked up. And then he plays soccer all the time and shit like that. So just yacked for no reason. And girls used to find him attractive. And then I found out after high school, he can't get no bitches because after a while it goes past just being like skin deep, and it goes past being just like surface level. Because now, like I said, women want you to provide for them. Women want to know what else you got. Women want to know what kind of conversation you can carry. And he never really learned how to carry on a conversation because he just relied on his looks so much and shit like that. And then, like I said, I think that
I don't have an internet connection.
for my specific case, because I don't want to just make it
Not
seem like I'm
uploading
shitting
anything.
on an old friend, but like in my specific case, when I went to prison, I definitely got a skewed sense of how I just viewed people in general. So it kind of like fucked up my way that I was talking to
The
people,
fuck?
period. You know what I'm saying? And so
Okay.
that's like really tough, basically.
I think
But
my
it's like, what can you do?
internet provider
And
decided to reset
yeah, man,
things
I just
because I
remember that
have
shit was
no
so
internet
fucking crazy
connection.
to
It's
where
probably in
like
the whole house.
again, you see these people that it's like God, what's the word I'm looking for? They rely so heavily on one thing that they don't realize the other things that it takes to make you attractive, like the other factors it takes to make you attractive. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I know it's kind of hard to understand that, basically.
Yeah, so like Boogie was saying, essentially, it's better for you to be an ugly duckling and a late bloomer because in that way you can learn. And even if you were an attractive guy in high school, but it's better for you to learn how to be able to have a conversation and carry a conversation than just relying on your looks or even trying to rely on your wallet. Because like that's the worst thing to try to do is relying on your wallet. If you made it big, then you can get taken advantage of because you don't know how to manage your money and manage your expectations with women. But if you learn how to deal with women while you're ugly, while you're unattractive, while you don't have the resources, then you're forced to be charismatic. You're forced to be funny. You're forced to be able to have a conversation because that's all you really have to offer the younger you are. Later on in life, hopefully you develop your own personal skills and your own career path to have a career and not just a job. So that way you can have the financial resources to have a family if that's what you ultimately want to have, or be able to afford to fly out some random 20-year-olds to come see you wherever you're living at because you got it like that. But the point is you still have to have those conversational skills to be able to do this with women. So again, it just all goes back to making women comfortable, making them feel safe, and making them laugh so they want to have and spend more time with you because to them, you're engaging, you're funny, you're interesting, and a little bit mysterious because they don't know anything about you yet.
Yeah, sorry, Max dropped in for a guest appearance there. So if y'all heard some background noise, that's what that was. But and then I'm trying to like mute the fucking mic, and I can't get around his big ass body to push the fucking mouse. I'm like, shit, I'm stuck here. So I was just trying not to make that much noise. I was definitely listening though. But yeah, man. See, that's why like I'm kind of glad that like so in fifth grade, right? I had to get glasses, and I remember just thinking how fucking ugly. Like I thought I looked real fugly in these goddamn glasses. I was like, I look like a fucking dweeb. I look like a loser. I don't like it. So I just had to like, and then my dad also, we would always watch like comedy movies and shit together. So I always like wanted to be funny because in comedy movies the funny guy always got the girl. So I always wanted to like be funny and joke around and stuff like that. So then that's just kind of how I became me, just saying dumb shit and being a giant fucking cornball, which I'm fine with. You know what I'm saying? They call me Hominy when they're not calling me Boogie. For those of y'all that don't know what hominy is, if y'all eat pozole, if you're Hispanic, hominy is literally what's inside of pozole. It's those corn balls. That's literally masa balls. It's a corn ball, and that's what I am. I'm hominy, and I'm fine with it because, like I said, they laugh, they like it.
I thought that's where you were going with it, with the cornball thing being hominy. I was like, let me just make sure before I fucking put my foot in my mouth and then make you feel like, well, that's not what they meant. They meant something else. Why are you calling me a cornball guy, yo? So I was like, there's two ways this can go. It'll still be funny either way, but it'd be funnier if I could hurt Boogie's feelings a little bit. But anyways, yeah.
Listen, guy. Only pies got feelings. So
Rim shot. Oh man.
there you go. But no, it's all good, man. By the way, just to end this podcast on a weird thing, because we ain't getting into weird today, and I don't like that. So I was thinking about something earlier, and it's kind of been bothering me, and I kind of wanted to get your take on it. So guys, don't judge me too hard. You know what I'm saying? But so you know, men and women's bodies are different. You know what I'm saying, to a certain extent. But there's certain things that are the same. You know what I mean? Like sexually and stuff like that. Men like kissing, women like kissing. You know what I'm saying? Dudes like getting their dick sucked, women like getting their pussy ate. You know what I mean? So now that brings me to my question, guy. I was thinking about this earlier, right? I was taking a shower, and so I'm taking a shower. You know what I'm saying? And I'm doing some manscaping and whatnot. And then I have a very hairy chest, so I was getting rid of the taco meat and whatnot. And then you get around like the nipple area, and then I was like, man, like women like getting their nipples sucked on. You know what I'm saying? And I've only ever had this happen one time, but I was like, I kind of liked it when I got my nipples sucked on. Like, is that weird? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, am I an anomaly here, guy? Because I was like, I feel like just biologically that makes sense that we would both like that. But I feel like a lot of men find it like it's emasculating. You know what I'm saying? But this is your thing though, right? Where I got into my head, where I was like, this makes sense because I remember one time this girl like wanted to eat my ass, and I was like, no, I don't like that. And she was like, oh, so somebody ate your ass? I was like, no, never, but I know I won't like it. Like, how would you know you don't like it if you ain't never had nobody try it? So then, when she licked my nipples, I was like, damn, I did like that. Like now I'm like questioning it. I'm like, damn, what if I, you know what I'm saying? It's like, wow,
I know exactly what you're
what
saying.
she's talking about.
Bro, actually, no, I don't like my nipples being licked or whatever. Like, I've had it tried multiple times, and it's just like, okay, she likes doing it. I'm gonna let her do it, and it's just kind of uncomfortable. I don't feel emasculated. It just feels uncomfortable. I love getting my ass ate though. Fucking, that's amazing as shit.
I mean, I believe you.
It's amazing. It's a sensation, and you can go in, get it. You can ease into it. So she's giving you head. She pays attention to the balls or to the sack, and just let her go a little bit further south, not to the asshole, but just like in your chode, in your taint area. Yeah, just let her kiss and lick the taint. If you like that, then let her go a little further south. The only thing is, there getting your ass ate is definitely emasculating because there is no way. Okay, there's very few ways you can get your ass ate and not feel emasculated because you got to have your legs up in the air. You got to be face down. Or my favorite is whenever you get in a two-girl blowjob is one girl's giving you head and the other one's behind you eating your ass. That's the only time I don't feel emasculated when I'm getting my ass ate. Otherwise, it feels emasculating, but I'll try to think about it. So that way I just enjoy the sensation of getting my ass ate. But anyways, yeah, that's my 2 cents in making it weird.
Yeah, because you either got to do the baby diaper changing station move. You know what I'm saying? Where your like legs are up like that, like she's changing a baby diaper, or like how you said you got to be on all fours with your ass north and your face south. Like you sound like you're part of a rappers group. You know what I mean? And you're just like ass north, face south, or like how you said because that always reminds me too of that Michael Cera thing where like you remember he's getting his dick sucked and his ass ate inside the bathroom inside of the movie This Is the End, and he's eating a lollipop, and I just remember that scene, and I was like, that seems like it's the biggest just like flex move as a dude. You got one girl sucking your dick, another chick eating your ass, and then you're just eating a lollipop, and then somebody walks in on you, and you're just like, you want some of my popsicle? You know what I mean? I'm like, you don't get more gangster than that. But I don't. I mean, was she like wet dogging your nipples? You know what I'm saying? Like, was she just lapping that shit up? Was she?
There's been
Or like, you know
different times. There's been just
precision with it.
sucking. There's been sloppy. It's been clean. It's been neat. It's been all kinds of things. It just doesn't do anything for me. It's like, okay, are you done getting your fix in? Because it's like annoying for me. Like it just feels annoying. It's you have siblings, so you know when like they put their finger like in your face or by your ear, and they just like kind of touch your ear a little bit, but don't actually like hurt you. Do that kind of shit. That's what it feels like when I have my nipples licked or sucked on or kissed or whatever. Um, it just feels annoying. So it's just kind of like, okay, it's been 10 seconds, 9, okay, 15 seconds. That's enough. Let me grab her by the hair and start kissing her or do something because it's fucking just hurry up and get it over with. So,
Yeah, you just gotta like move it on to something else.
yeah.
See, because like guys, let us know in the comments, guys and ladies, what's something that you had done to you that you didn't really like, or something maybe that you had done to you that you thought you wouldn't like and you ended up liking more than you thought you would. I remember one time, man, I had this girl ride me like reverse cowgirl and shit like that, and she just started like biting my shins. Like that was like her thing. Like she just started biting my shins. I didn't like that shit at all. She was hurting the fuck out my shins because I just came from at the time I was doing Muay Thai, so I'm coming from Muay Thai practice, kicking a fucking heavy bag. Nerves are fucking fired up on my shin bone and shit like that. And then she's just over here like, ngang, 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 ngang. And I'm like, ow, this like doesn't feel good at all. But like you said, I just let her do it for a little bit because I'm just like enjoying the view or whatever the fuck. And then I was like you said, you like kind of down where it's like, what's a respectable amount where she feels like she's not on this bone enough, and it doesn't make her feel like I'm just trying to stop her because I hate it type shit.
Yeah.
That's how we're gonna wrap up this episode, guys. Leave us some comments.
Actually, also, what's your time? What's your number? Like for me, 15 to 20 seconds is my, like, okay, that's enough. Like that should be enough for her to get satisfied. Well, not satisfied, but get the enjoyment she gets out of it without being too short or let her think she can keep going. How long would you go for?
Oh, see, I'm too generous. Then I'm too generous. I do 30 seconds. I do half a minute. Cause I'm like, well, hold on. I'm like, what if it starts feeling better? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I think in my head, I'm like, what if I'm just being so opposed to it that it starts feeling better? You know what I'm saying? Because like, I was thinking about that. I was like, what if I'm psyching myself out to where I'm not allowing myself to enjoy it? You know what I mean? So I like do that type shit. Because I also had like this other chick. She wanted to like, what did she want to do? Oh, she like wanted to like suck on my toes, and I was like, okay. I was like, listen, I get the appeal. I like sucking toes, so I can understand it. I was like, I don't know if you want to suck on my toes. I got fucked up boot feet and shit, but go ahead. So and it felt weird, and I didn't like it, but I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm tensing up. Let me relax, and maybe it'll feel better. And it takes me about 15 seconds to relax into it. So then it's like, yeah, no, don't like it. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Then that's when I hit the ejectocito. But yeah, guys, let us know something that happened to you that you thought you wouldn't like, turns out you liked, or something that somebody did that you didn't like. Go ahead and leave us a comment on the YouTube page, or hit me up on Instagram if you don't want to get too weird with it on a public forum. But thank you guys so much for coming. Next week, I'm going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and maybe I'll recap John Wick a little bit because somebody asked me about that. But thank you guys so much for showing up. We appreciate it. If you want to reach out, the Instagram for me is cementblock_productions. Please make sure to like, subscribe, follow the podcast, all that good jazz. Forcefully share it with people that don't want to listen to it. Like, just send it to every one of your family members. You know what I mean? Like, spam them with it. Because I think that that's probably the greatest form of marketing, is sending it to people who don't want it.
Oh my god, that could work. It can make you go viral because everybody like, what the fuck? Look at this stupid shit. But if you want to at me for whatever reason, bring the smoke, or you like what I said, or you want better ideas, better questions, whatever, you can find me at sucias.xyz. All my socials. You can text me, email me, whatever. I will respond when I wake up, because I'm not going to respond and sit here waiting for you to call me or text me. But I will get back to you as soon as I can.
And with that, we'll see y'all next week. Because we got better bitches, better cars, more money, better shoes.
I see you, Block.